Being in Miss Skeen's classroom is a real special experience because she doesn't just have her children for 1 year and then they move on to another classroom. Her children she has usually for 5 or 6 years, and we become very attached to them. We get to know their families very well because they are invited in. They have special ed meetings together with the teachers and with the assistants, and also we have a parent support group for them. So when we lose someone from Miss Skeen's room, it means a lot to us because they have been with the same teacher and the same assistants for virtually all their lives. So it's very special to us. Because we are a family-oriented school in a small community that really cares about people, it's important for us to be able to do a service like what we're doing today. And we want to plant this tree not only for us to remember today, but in the months and years to come, so that we will never forget one of our most special students, Jacob Miles. And it's because we're in such a close-knit community and with a faculty and staff that really care about our children and our families that we can do that. This is also very special to us, and especially to Ms. Skeens, who is an excellent and wonderful teacher. Not having children of her own yet, her class is her family. And again, she has had Jacob from the time he was in kindergarten until his death. 5 years, I think. Every day of every year, we see these children in their ups and their downs, on their good days and their bad days, and they become part of our family. They're very much like our own. So for Ms. Skeens and for the workers in her classroom, this is a very emotional time, and it's like losing part of your family. And we are thankful to be able to have a service today that can help them have a good memory and feel like we've contributed to the family in this way.
Really think that this memorial service for Jacob, his family, is going to mean a lot. Just knowing that, you know, he was a student here at our school, and that you know, he's going to always be remembered, and especially with planting the tree, and you know, we've got all kinds of pictures. I really think that the family is going to enjoy that we're doing this for them. I remember one time going to Kathy and Ronnie's. There was a big family function that we had, and I walked into the living room, and there was Jacob. And I said, "Jacob goes to our school. What's Jacob doing here?" And so that's how I finally made the connection that, wow, I'm related to, you know, Jacob through Steph and Kathy and Ronnie and, you know, Kathy's sister, or I'm sorry, Kathy's brother. But I know that Jacob was really special to Stephanie. Stephanie really thought a lot of Jacob. She was his godmother. So, you know, he has a real special place in her heart. You know, I know that all the students here at school, they all knew Jacob. Jacob was a special student here, and they liked being around him. And you know, the kids you know, would talk to him and say things to him, and you know, he was a special student here in more ways than one. And you know, we were glad to have the opportunity to have Jacob here at our school.
Jacob was a sweet little boy that I enjoyed seeing every morning when I would go into Miss Skeen's classroom. Oftentimes Nurse Mike would be in, sitting beside him reading one of his favorite books to him. He is greatly missed, and I hope that this is a nice Remembrance Day for him. You know, regardless of a child's capabilities or abilities, I strongly believe that they deserve to be treated just like any other child. And that's one of the reasons why I do take time to go into Miss Skeen's room in the mornings, and Jacob was a part of that. And even though Jacob couldn't respond to me like some of the other children, I felt like he deserved to be spoken to every morning just like the other children. I've missed being able to talk to Jacob in the mornings.
Okay, I first met Jacob, I guess, 3 years ago. Lisa Bodine from the board called me and asked me if I was interested in a nursing job. And she set me up with Jacob, and I called Jim and Andrea to find out where they lived and all that good stuff. And just went over there one day and met him, and of course he smiled, and it was just unbelievable. I was telling Jim at the funeral that what started out as a job turned out to be a lot more than that. So we had a lot of good times, a lot of laughing and stuff in the classroom, reading all kinds of different Sesame Street books and Big Clifford and all that stuff. So it was about 3 years ago when I met Jacob. The impact Jacob's had on my life is just unbelievable. He's made me a stronger person. I saw the struggles that he's gone through for the 3 years that I was with him. It just every day was a challenge for him. And of course he had his bad days, but he would just smile on his good days and look around and be more active and stuff like that. He just made me a better person, a stronger person, and actually I love being around all the kids basically because of Jacob. If I had one more conversation with Jacob, I would tell him thank you for opening my eyes to everything that he has opened my eyes to and making me a better person. I would tell him he has struggled enough. Enjoy your time, rest, play, do the things you couldn't do while you were here. You're in a better place. You know, you've lost nothing. It's our loss, not yours. So
I first met Jacob the summer before I started working at the school, which was last year, at cheerleading practice with his little sister, Rachel, and his mom told me that he was in my class. So that was an exciting moment for me to meet my first student. Working with Jacob made me realize that anything can happen and anybody can do anything they want to do. Not only was he special, but it was an honor to work with him in the classroom every day. Just to see him smile and made our days 100 times better. And I was fortunate enough to work with him for at least 1 year, and I really appreciate what I got from him. Since I only worked with Jacob and Julie and the kids for 1 year, I don't know everything that everyone has been through, but I know that they all have a special place in Julie's heart and in Linda's heart, and they're already there for me, and it's only been a year. Working with Jacob, working with Andrea and Jim, they were great parents. They appreciated everything Julie did, and you could tell when they walked into the room and when Jacob walked into the room. And I appreciate everything that Julie has done for me and taught me how to work with the kids.
I had the privilege of meeting Jacob Miles close to 10 years ago. I was with Jacob Miles for 2 years at Mount Washington Elementary when he was in preschool. And he was a little bitty fella, but I was able to introduce him to the kids at Mount Washington Elementary, and we got to play and help nurture him is what I got to do. We would play at all the different stations that were set up in the preschool, and kids would come over and ask me questions about him, and we're very concerned about Jacob being in a wheelchair. But he would smile and he would interact with them, and it really made a difference with the kids that he got to be in the classroom with. The impact that Jacob had on my life has been wonderful. I got to meet his family. I got to meet his sister Rachel when she was just 6 months old. James Michael, I got to meet him. I always told his mother that I think I was the only person in the county that got to change all 3 of their diapers. Sweet family. I felt like I couldn't do enough for them. I wanted to introduce them to other people that had special needs children and get them hooked up with all the agencies and things like that in the community. But Jacob has made me a better person just by knowing Jacob. I feel like I'm a better person for knowing him. I'm glad that we get to see the tree grow. It's a beautiful tree. It's in his memory. And when we look out the window, we see it, and it makes me think of him up in heaven. It's very sad, very hard. It's like losing my own grandson. A lot of kids ask me if I was Jacob's nanny. And I said, yeah, that's sort of. I'm his Nanny Mac. I miss him. I miss him a lot. And I miss speaking to him every day and telling him that Miss Mac's here. Just wanted to come over and say good morning. I miss him a lot. I think Jacob would be pleased about that. Knowing that he's brought so many people together. For a little fella that was nonverbal, he's brought a lot of people together. And so many people loved him and loves his family, and will always try to support him and be around him, and don't want to lose contact with them because they're my friends. And I truly miss him, and I know he's smiling. I know he's looking down and smiling at us. I just wanted to tell the family it was truly a pleasure taking care of their son, and I did the very best I could, and I always tried to make him laugh and feel comfortable and loved.
Jacob came to my class in 2002. He was a kindergarten student, so he came for half days, and he was new and scary for me, and I've shared that with his parents before, because most of the kids that I'd had before were up moving around, and he had lots of issues, and but he just was something that she became very attached to. And he was a part of our lives every day. We're planting this tree in remembrance of Jacob's life and everything that he meant to everybody here. And to celebrate his life and to celebrate the impact that he had. He couldn't talk, but man, you saw joy in his face, and you knew how happy he was about things, and he just was the light of everybody's day. He was such a happy kid, and he helped us understand life. We decided to put the tree there because it was a place that Jacob could have looked out from his window. He was always by a window when we moved to this classroom. The old classroom, we didn't have windows, and he just really, really liked the sunlight and liked being near the light in the window. So we placed it where he could have seen it had he still been with us.
Oh gosh, there were so many. He was so fun. We did goofy stuff with him one time. I remember one of the nurses did the funniest thing to a couple of the therapists that came in. Our assistive technology coordinator brought a switch that you could speak, and it had 4 messages to it, and Mr. Mike took that down to the bathroom, and when the speech pathologist came in, he had recorded this message, and he says, Miss Crick, you've got to hear this. And he said, come here, let Jacob talk to you a little bit. So he helps Jacob push the switch, and it said, leave me alone, Miss Crick, I'm trying to sleep. And Jacob just laughed. He thought that was so funny, and we all just got a big kick out of it. Well, Mike did it again with Mindy Vincent, who's one of the physical therapy assistants who came and worked with Jacob, and we just had so much fun. And he could just light up the room because he would smile and laugh, and everything that we did brought him joy. So that makes life worthwhile. As a teacher, Jacob impacted me because I had to revisit everything that I thought about learning. You know, he couldn't feed back and give me an oral answer, and he couldn't necessarily give me an absolute 100% yes or no type of answer. So I had to rethink how I did things, and we had to provide him the opportunity to access every piece of information, and that might have meant us just showing him a picture or providing him with what he understood. He liked a lot of sensory things, so we would put stuff and take Velcro and cut it out in shapes so he could feel the texture of it. So he made me rethink everything that I knew as a teacher and everything I thought I knew. So he made me grow. I think Jacob would say, look, there's a tree, and he would go and he'd probably try to climb it even though it's not big enough to climb yet. And he would want to know, what animals lived around it, and he'd want to know what insects were crawling around it, and he'd probably want to dig in the dirt with us and run in circles around it with his brother and his sister. So I think Jacob would like that we're doing this for him. I hope so. I miss him very much. He was very much a part of our room in my life, and I know it's selfish, but I wish he could be back with us. But I know he's very healthy, and he's very happy where he is, and he's getting to do the things that he didn't get to do here. So I just hope that one day I'll get to meet him again.